73 degrees and sunshine here in Arlington tonight. And Brandon McCarthy, the native of Colorado Springs, Colorado, taking out an Orioles team that kind of stole one last night. Final of 10-9. The Southwest Airlines starting lineup: Roberts, Jones, and Markakis. Aubrey Huff is a native of the Metroplex. He bats in the cleanup spot tonight. Wigginton, Scott, and Zahn, PA, and Izturis. And now the first pitch up and outside from Brandon McCarthy. He was a 12-8 winner against the Indians 5 nights ago. Roberts, who was on base 4 times yesterday and sparkled defensively, lines to center. And we will scout out the 6'7" Brandon McCarthy for you right now.
He went 5 innings in that game and had good stuff. He didn't have command of his fastball, and he had some erratic control in that game, but 7 strikeouts in 5 innings shows you that he had good stuff. He won 4 games in spring training. That can be good fortune as much as anything, but he did pitch well in spring training. He's had 2 career starts against the Orioles. Hopefully this one will go something like that. He's got a real good ERA against the Orioles.
Same cannot be said for Vicente Padilla. Last year against the O's, an ERA of 18.9. And he's going to start up right around there here in 2009. He was hit hard yesterday. 7 runs allowed in 3 innings. He gave up 11 hits. And the Rangers found themselves trailing 10-4 in that ball game.
It wasn't for a lack of trying. Vicente tried everything he had. He threw from different arm angles. He threw all his pitches. He just didn't have his good stuff. His breaking balls were flat. They were up in the strike zone. And most importantly, he didn't have his fastball. His fastball was usually 89 instead of 93 to 95. So he went out and gave it his best shot, but he was out there with much less than his best stuff last night. And the Orioles, to their credit, have a pretty good hitting team, and they took advantage of it.
Singled up a storm in that 4th inning. 5 straight singles against Padilla. There's a rip and a miss by Adam Jones.
A good fastball at 91 miles an hour.
Two pitch. That's grabbed by Saltalamacchia. The foul tip clung to by the Ranger catcher. And the first strikeout from McCarthy. Let's check that Ranger defense for you. Salty back in there. It was Teagarden yesterday. And the outfielders tonight, it's Murphy, Hamilton, and Cruz. We mentioned Vizquel instead of Andrews at short tonight. And a tall battery, 6'7", pitching to 6'5", and McCarthy to Saltalamacchia. Soon to be 42 years old. There's your Ranger shortstop tonight, Mr. Vizquel.
That's a good sign so far early in the game. That Brandon's got good velocity on his fastball. Last 3 have been 91, and all of them have been strikes. Although Jones helped him out a little bit by swinging at the high fastball.
McCarthy facing the guy that pretty much saved the day for the Orioles yesterday. That's Nick Markakis. Not only was he on base 3 times, but he made that spectacular running catch in right center to rob Michael Young.
And 2 miles an hour. We didn't see that from Brandon last year. Got a little extra velocity right now.
He said he spent the time in between these 2 starts working on his fastball, just trying to make a couple of slight adjustments that might give him some better command of that pitch, a little bit extra zip.
Well, 93 with that one, so whatever he worked on, you got to put it in a bottle and sell it. If it's adding a couple miles an hour to your fastball, it's pretty nice. What he really needs, though, is good command of his fastball.
That ball fouled away by Markakis. Again, the defensive hero of last night. Ian Kinsler unable to tag and go 2nd to 3rd on this, and that was unfortunate.
Now, Michael hit that ball, I think, just a little bit toward the end of his bat. He didn't get all of it, but boy, it sure looked like he got enough of it to have an extra base hit.
And as for our Geico quote, it spins right off of that play and pretty much said what you said. Didn't quite get all of it. Everybody kind of assumed it would go over Markakis' head. It just didn't happen.
Yeah.
Got him.
Good high fastball. Boy, that's an impressive inning right there from Brandon.
Fly ball out, then 2 strikeouts, and here come the Rangers against Alfredo Simon after this. Tonight it's a nice big fat 0 in the top of the first, and now the Rangers with Kinsler, Young, and Hamilton, and Blaylock, Cruz, and Murphy. Davis, Saltalamacchia, and Vizquel down at the bottom of that Southwest Airlines batting order. And a one-time Ranger farmhand is on the mound. Big Alfredo Simon is 6'4", 230. And we'll scout him out.
Started against the Yankees. Pitched pretty well in that game. He gave up a home run to Teixeira and a home run to Nick Swisher. 4 runs in 5 innings. Third career major league start. A lot of minor league games. And he pitched actually for Oklahoma in 2007 in the Ranger farm system. It didn't go real well for him. 5-10 with a 6.43 ERA. Hardly the springboard to the big leagues. But here he is.
And there is Kinsler doing what he's been doing like clockwork. Line drives to left field. I think Ian's got only 1 hit to the right side of second base this season. Of his dozen base hits now.
We had that double in 9th inning last night.
Yep.
Must have been it.
Defensively, PA, Jones, and Markakis. Edenfield is Wigginton, is Turris, Roberts, and Huff. And our old friend Greg's on. 3 G's in Greg, catching Alfredo Simon.
The thing about Ian is, if you were to watch him the first week, you'd say, man, this kid is a dead pull hitter.
Now he's a runner. Zahn fires, and Kinsler's out. It took until August last year when he was out stealing second base. Greg Zahn gets him on April 14th here in 09.
And based on the way he has hit, he looks like a dead pull hitter. He's really not, though. He can hit the ball to right field with authority. I think right now he's feeling good. He's getting pitches that he can pull, and that's just what he's doing right now. But when he needs to, he can go to right field very well.
Zahn's got to feel good about capturing Kinsler. He's been successful on about 90% of his stolen base opportunities in the major leagues. Went 20 for his first 20 last year. Michael Young hitting it hard and hitting it high and hitting it out of here for Texas.
Markakis won't catch that one.
Now the one last night didn't quite get out, and it cost the Rangers a win. Tonight, Michael Young hits it out. It's 1-0.
Well, Michael early in the season showing some power. Dead center field yesterday, 420 in Detroit. He got a fastball to his liking and creamed it to left field.
Michael Young's a guy, I'm sure you know, is a hitter that usually is looking right field and right center field. For him to pull a home run like that to left field, I mean, it shows you he can do it, but it's not the usual happenstance for Mike. Pulling for power is what Hamilton does, and he drives this one, but got a little bit under it. Caught by Markakis, and we'll take you back to Michael Young, his second home run of the Young season.
And Michael loves to drive the ball to right field. You're right. That was a pitch a little bit on the inside part of the plate, and he was able to get the good part of the bat on it. A line shot out of here.
The Rangers, not a big surprise, but yep, they're leading the American League in home runs. We've got 10 different players who have hit home runs already. The A's, just for example, have 2 different players who have hit home runs this year. Blaylock dribbles one right behind the bag at first, and the foot race is won by Aubrey Huff. Michael Young, though, drills one out of here. The Rangers 1, Baltimore 0.
Salute one team, and that is making a difference in the community. And we have the junior RBI program. Greg Williams of the Dallas Parks and Recreation is here to tell us all about that. Greg?
Well, with junior RBI, what we're doing is we're reviving baseball in the inner cities. So you all come out and participate in our wonderful baseball league that's sponsored by RBI, KPMG, and Major League Baseball.
And also, before the game, big announcement, the Texas Rangers donated 100 bats and 100 gloves to the Little Leaguers.
Right, so come on out and get some of these bats and balls, and let's drive home the values of life.
All right, for people wanting to get involved, Greg, real quick, what do they need to do?
Contact my office, the Youth Sports Office with the Dallas Park and Recreation Department at 214-243-1554.
There we go. Okay, guys, you want to say back to Josh? Is that right, huh? Go ahead.
Back to Josh!
All right, appreciate it.
All right, thanks, guys. But unfortunately, right as Aubrey Huff turns on one and lines it out of here to tie the game. Coming home to the Metroplex, here's Aubrey Huff homering into the right field corner. That's his first home run of 2009.
We had 4 hits last night and took advantage of a curveball. Inside part of the plate, stayed up. Got the good part of the bat on it, lined it right down the line.
Coming off a career year last year, Aubrey Huff led the American League in extra base hits a year ago. That ball is going to drip right past the mound for Vizquel. And the quick toss to get Ty Wigginton.
Omar's one of those guys that I don't think he's ever got a bad hop. Now, he's gotten some bad hops, but he catches them all and makes them look like they're not a bad hop. Does it look like a tricky little hop? He makes it look like one of those Sunday bounces that just bounces up waist high and you just reach down and catch it.
Super soft Gold Glove hands. Of course, he came up in the Mariners system, and when he was with Seattle, just to show off, sometimes he'd go out there at the Kingdome, take infield practice without a glove. He just barehand all the hot grounders like someone was rolling tennis balls at him. But when people asked him about it, he said, you know, really, I don't catch the ball so much as I do just kind of stop it with my glove. And to prove that point, he would just go out there and absorb the ball barehanded.
I think the first thing you should do if you're going to teach a little boy or a little girl how to play catch is do it with a soft ball, tennis ball or rubber ball or something, even Nerf ball, and do it without a glove. Learn how to catch in your bare hands first so that you don't just use a glove like a basket to hold it out and let the ball drop in it.
Luke Scott takes inside, and Omar, of course, honed his defensive skills playing on kind of beaten up fields in Venezuela, nothing but rocks and dirt. And Omar has said you learn early. If you can't handle a bad hop, you lose 3 teeth.
He must have been talking about the second field the Rangers used to have at Pompano Beach. He used to call it Iwo Jima. He hasn't even seen that field. He described it perfectly.
McCarthy brings the 3-1. Now make it 3-2. Vizquel has that great hand-eye coordination, and he says he developed that from playing volleyball as a kid. Says he got the footwork down by playing soccer. And as we've talked about, his hero as a kid, fellow Venezuelan David Concepcion, another guy that wore number 13. Omar had a poster of Concepcion on his wall. Towering pop-up. And in foul ground, Salty has got it.
There probably hasn't been a young kid in Venezuela in the last 60 years that hasn't had a shortstop to look up to. They've been well spread out, and a lot of them, too.
The poster of Concepcion on his wall, but you'd never guess who the other posters were of. And I thought he was kidding when he said this, but he had Led Zeppelin, Van Halen, and Kiss up there, along with David Concepcion. Quoting Omar, he says, nothing cooler than Gene Simmons and Ace Frehley. And as a kid, he admits he was mischievous as a kid. Omar tells the story on himself. When he was 5, he and his friends would climb to the top of mango trees and shake the mangoes loose. Try to get them on the heads of the people passing by. And by 6th grade, he admits, yeah, he was the kid who threw chalk when the teacher turned to face the blackboard. That was Omar. Greg's on, chops it just wide of the bag. I'm betting that Zahn had a mischievous streak growing up too. Ooh, look at Omar take that one deep.
Yeah, why throw it? Oh, it came back down anyway. I think Omar's saying every ball goes to the front row and the lower deck. I'm going for the upper deck.
He chucked that almost to the upper deck.
So he sent it to the second deck, but it bounced right out. No one caught it, and it came back down to the lower deck anyway.
And now he can do this.
Throw this one in the upper deck.
Nah.
No, sure.
On a straight line to Chris Davis. And the always fun, always interesting Omar Vizquel. Maybe he'll be hitting in this coming half inning. We're tied 1-1. See of our friends at On the Border. Text the following: OTB party to 777-111, and then you are entered to win a catered party for 20 from On the Border Mexican Grill and Cantina. Standard text rates apply, but you might get a lot of Mexican food. Nelson Cruz behind 0-1. He was a teammate of the guy on the mound currently, Alfredo Simon, in Oklahoma a couple of summers ago. You mentioned it, Tom, kind of a forgettable stint with the Red Hawks for Alfredo Simon. The Rangers had grabbed him from the Giants organization and put him in AAA for the entire year, a 6.5 ERA.
You know, it wasn't forgettable for me. I didn't know he was there in the first place.
There's nothing to forget.
You can't forget what you don't know in the first place.
That was never on the 40-man roster or anything like that. Originally a Philadelphia Phillies prospect. 5 years with them, then the Giants minor leagues for a couple of years. Last year he was in Monterrey pitching in Mexico. The first little downtick this year for Nelson Cruz, one for his last 11. But he's leading the team in home runs. He's got 3. Cruz sends it high to left field, back to the track, right into the corner. Gone! The Rangers on top 2-1.
But Nelly didn't even hit that ball well. That's just how he just literally muscled that ball out of the ballpark. The ball did not hit on the good part of the bat, but he's so strong. He hit it far enough, 355 feet, to be a home run. Nice to have that kind of strength. Someone else hits that ball, might go to the warning track for an out. hit it toward the end of the bat, it looked like. Let's see if we can see better here. You know he didn't get all of it, because if he did, it would have gone off the restaurant. We've seen that before.
Or through the restaurant.
Or over it.
Murphy still hitless for the year, shows bunt. David did have a steal in the 9th inning yesterday, pinch running the back end of that double steal. Very courageous play. Greg Zahn went for Murphy at second base, allowed Kinsler to go to third, and it was a very close call at second. The game could have ended right there. As it turned out, the game ended when Marlon Byrd swung and missed. Got to give George Sherrill some credit, the Baltimore closer, dealing with second and third and 2 out. Struck out a very tough hitter. Murphy, patient. Three solo home runs in this ball game already. Rangers up 2-1. Murphy gets under it and lifts it to shallow right center field. Brian Roberts backing, and he's got it. Chris Davis comes up now, and I think everybody knew Chris Davis would get it going. He did get it going yesterday. Hitting coach Rudy Jaramillo checked in on that subject.
He got a lot of help from his teammates. Michael Young and Ian have been talking to him, the last couple of nights in Detroit about his approach and his preparation. So it's really good to have help from our veterans to help these other young guys, because this is a team effort, and I want them to help me, and their encouragement, and they're positive and talked about their approach, especially Mike Young, and Ian Kinsler has learned a lot from Michael Young, and so I want the other guys to do the same thing.
That's a great point. I mean, Rudy's the general, but he's got all these staff sergeants here that can kind of help carry out the message if need be. Just a timing issue with Chris from all accounts. Fastballs were getting blown by him, and that usually does not happen to Chris Davis. In the air, right field. Davis gives it a ride to the track and back to the wall. Got it again! Three of the first 7 Ranger hitters have homered tonight against Alfredo Simon. I'd say Chris has his timing back.
I'd say that start yesterday was a fortunate start for him, because it all came together. Not a terrible pitch. It's a sinker down in a down, not really down, but on the outside corner. But Chris is strong enough to be able to reach for that ball and still yank it out of here.
Ooh, line shot by Saltalamacchia now.
There haven't been a lot of bad swings at Simon so far in this game.
That game you mentioned against the Yankees, he was very good for 3 innings, and then it all just kind of came apart in that last inning he pitched, the 4th. He's now given up 5 home runs in his last 2 1/3 innings going back to that game. I'm doing some quick math here, just double checking here. Let's see. 5 of the last 11 hitters now to have faced Alfredo Simon have hit a home run. And Dave Tremblay is coming out along with one of the trainers, Brian Ebel. No action yet in that Baltimore bullpen, but obviously there's enough concern here about the health of Simon. That might change, and there might be an actual change being made now. He's done. And obviously something's probably not right. I mean, if he's given up 5 home runs to the last 11 hitters he's faced, 3 of them tonight, and the Orioles will need some super long relief this evening. Plenty of time to tell you about the new pitcher when we come back. He'll have all the time he needs to get loose. Already 3-1 Texas, and we're back after this on Fox Sports Southwest. And Dennis Sarfate will come in as we check the Jack-in-the-Box standings. Actually, the Rangers' upcoming opponents for the Kansas City Royals in over the weekend. The Rangers then hit the road, and two surprising teams out of the AL East, including these Baltimore Orioles. They're 5-2. The Blue Jays with a team batting average of .323 right now. They're 6-2, and it seems like the AL East standings tag are inverted, with Toronto and Baltimore at the top and those other three studly teams down at the bottom.
Yeah, and when the season's all over and done with, I think Toronto has a chance to be halfway decent, but it's going to be the Red Sox, the Yankees, and Tampa Bay. Baltimore started out 5-2, mainly because of their offense. They've been swinging the bats pretty well. They've got an average of somewhere around 400 almost with runners in scoring position. That's not going to continue. They've got some good hitters, and they're going to score some runs. But I think when you look at their pitching staff, it's hard to imagine that the Orioles are going to finish out of the cellar this year. They're 5-2 right now, and Rangers are facing them when they're hot. But over the course of 162, unless they make some changes, it just really doesn't look like their pitching would be the kind of pitching that would lead to any type of contender.
By the way, if you stay tuned for tonight's Dodge Grab Life feature, you'll be hearing from Andrew Jones this evening. Andrew, a big part of the Rangers' uprising yesterday, getting the 9 runs. Dennis Sarfate takes over in extreme long relief here, the Queens, New York native. He is Queens Boulevard. Dennis Sarfate, 27 years old, and briefly pitched for Milwaukee, briefly pitched for Houston. Got into 57 games a year ago for the Orioles. He actually made 4 starts for the Orioles last year. With a 1-1 count, it's Saltalamacchia who will take outside. Sarfate has always been more about velocity than accuracy. He's had some walk issues in the past. A weird thing about Sarfate, last year Taggy broke his collarbone in April, but never told anyone about it. He pitched all year with a cracked collarbone. That would tend to limit one's mobility. But he figured, hey, I'm finally in the big leagues. I'm getting my chance. I'll just keep playing through this.
Brian Bass was with Minnesota most of the season last year, came over to the Orioles at the end of the year. He's the only guy in their bullpen who wasn't on the disabled list for a while last year.
Strike 3. Saltalamacchia takes on the outside corner.
And looked like a pretty good pitch right on the outside corner. We saw Sarfate last year. And I'm pretty sure we saw him with his fastball occasionally in the mid-90s. Not there yet today.
Omar Vizquel, who could end the season with the 4th most hits of any switch hitter in Major League history. Chasing his former teammate Robbie Alomar right now for 4th place. That one squirts outside from Sarfate. That one's in too snug. Omar Vizquel, a little known fact about Omar, led off against Nolan Ryan in Nolan's last game. He did so with a single at the Kingdome. There were the 3 walks that followed, and that home run to the immortal Dan Howitt. The pitch that missed to Dave Magadan when Nolan felt that arm give out, and that was it. The last of his incredible 5,400 innings pitched. Vizquel is out. However, a couple of Ranger home runs that inning. Nelly Cruz, number 4 this year. Chris Davis, number 2. And the Rangers are up 3-1. Dodge dealers also by Geico Insurance and by H&R Block. Oh, that's right. I got to do my taxes. I totally forgot.
You're late.
How much time do I have?
You better have someone working on it right now.
I got people.
Okay.
I'm good. Rangers good tonight. 3-1. Brandon McCarthy's given up a solo home run to Aubrey Huff, but that's it. And here is Felix P.A. And he sends a soaring drive to right center field. Nelson Cruz going back along with Hamilton. And Hamilton has got it. Looks like a couple of defensive ends roaming right in center field for the Rangers. 6'4", 235 guys.
Yeah, and even David Murphy in left field is not a little guy.
No. Speaking of football, the Cowboys' schedule is out, and there's only one conflict with the Rangers' new neighbors. We'll see how that gets navigated, but the Cowboys will be opening up Jerry World officially on a Sunday night game, nationally televised on September 20th. The Rangers have a day game that afternoon against the Angels. Is Torres lifting one to left field, and there is David Murphy. He's got it. That'll get us to the top of the order for Brian Roberts. On the scoreboard, the Angels and Mariners playing ball tonight in Seattle. It's 2-2 in the 8th inning. Torrey Hunter has hit home run number 2. The Angels and Red Sox, as you might know, brawled or came close to brawling a couple days ago. Josh Beckett has been suspended 6 games as he fired one towards Bobby Abreu in that game.
I guess Abreu had called timeout and Beckett went ahead and threw the ball anyway. They must have felt like it was intentional to get a 6-day suspension.
Hamilton can't get this one. It gets by him to the base of the wall. Brian Roberts, great speed, takes that turn, and now he'll hold at second base. Set a record last year, did Brian Roberts, most doubles by a switch hitter in one season in the AL. He had 51 a year ago. Now he's got 4 here in 09.
And if this was a tie game late in the game, he probably would have had a triple right there if there's less than 2 outs.
There's the news about Josh Beckett, native Texan. Red Sox are playing at the A's tonight. Daisuke Matsuzaka's on the mound. Here's Adam Jones. And there's Adam Jones pegging one to center. Hamilton's going to come up with it. He'll step and he'll fire. Saltalamacchia out to cut it off, and he wings it to second. Too late. Baltimore has scored. It's 3-2.
The last time up, Brandon threw fastballs right by him. Struck him out with a high fastball. That time, first pitch, hanging curveball. Ripped it up the middle. Not a good pitch right there.
Jones stays back and just hammers it.
That's certainly not where he was trying to throw that ball, but it turned out to be a great pitch to hit. Jones is a free swinger. He won't walk very many times. You can get him to chase pitches out of the strike zone, but not many guys are going to miss that pitch.
Now the batter, Nick Markakis. He takes the first pitch strike. The Yankees lead the Rays tonight 2-0 in the 6th inning, going much better for New York. They lost 15-5 yesterday. Nick Swisher mopping up. Pitched the final inning of that game for the Yankees, and tonight he's homered.
I was going to watch the highlights I know they would have shown that. Did you see him pitching?
Yeah, he looked a little sheepish.
He got a strikeout. Struck somebody out.
He's been Mr. Everything for the Yankees. He's hit his 4th home run of the year already tonight. Slowly towards second base. Kinsler gobbles it up. And with that, McCarthy is out of the inning. Baltimore gets closer, but the Rangers still lead. It's 3-2. Kinsler, Young, and Hamilton coming up. Michael Young, by the way, has already hit one out. Well, the Rangers have rifled 3 solo home runs, and they lead the Orioles tonight in the bottom of inning 3. Top of the order, Ian Kinsler takes a strike from Dennis Sarfate. Tag, all that exhaustive research you did on Alfredo Simon, and now he's gone. He was gone after an inning and 1/3.
Barry Feaster is a longtime Ranger fan, watches every night. He's not feeling well. We wanted him to know that our thoughts are with him tonight. Barry, thanks for being such a great Ranger fan.
Kinsler chops one foul. Down by the new brick facade by the Orioles dugout. It already seems like that's been here forever. But with that brick incorporated into the ballpark inside. Of course, when you pull up to the ballpark, you are greeted by that reddish brown brick, and it's stark. It's cool. And now you get to see it inside too. Kinsler turns on it and hammers it to left. Right at the wall, caught by Felix P.A. Boy, Mr. Line drive to left field, Ian Kinsler. Folks, country artist Jack Ingram is performing on the North Lawn here at the ballpark after this Saturday's game. Rangers and Royals play at 7:05. The concert right after the game, and admission is free to the concert with your Rangers game ticket. Sponsored by the big 96.3 KSCS. Off speed to start off Michael Young. Michael last year ended up with a dozen home runs. He had 9 the year before, but back in 04 and 05, he was getting 200 hits a year those years too. He had home run totals of 22 and 24. The walks totals have stayed very consistent for Michael every year as a Ranger. He's somewhere between 45 and 55. One of his goals is to get that strikeout total down under 100 again. Last year was at 109. Pretty amazing when 183 hits can be considered a down year for somebody. But Michael Young had set the bar so high. 5 straight seasons of at least 200.
Well, as we've mentioned a number of times, there's a pretty good reason for it last year. When you have the injuries to each hand that he had and played with it. As important as your hands are for hitting, it's pretty tough to play with a couple of broken fingers.
Wonder if that guy who caught the foul ball was on the cell phone already. And then he caught the ball and then got back to the cell phone. There's Michael Young drawing the walk. That'll be pretty cool. Yeah, I'll pick up some milk on the way home. Wait, hang on, honey. Just got to take care of something. All right, yeah, I'm sorry. You were saying what else? Milk and...
We've seen guys catch a ball in one hand with a baby in the other hand, with a beer in the other hand. I don't think we've had one with a cell phone.
He doesn't want the opposition to see what he's saying on the cell phone there.
He's been watching too much baseball.
Well, he could use some baseball.
Well, he made a great play.
Here's Josh Hamilton. Five Rangers have more home runs than Josh Hamilton right now. That's how well the Rangers are hitting collectively for power. Rangers already have 17 home runs, including the 3 tonight. They've homered in every game this year. It's the first time in franchise history, Tag, that they've homered the first 8 games of a season. How was Josh doing about this time of year last year? I mean, it's remarkably similar.
Oh, he definitely took off because he was the player of the month in the American League for the month of April.
Yep, it was right around this time of year, mid-April, that he just went off like a Roman candle. Player of the month for April and May. First American leaguer to ever get that done. Win that award first 2 months of the year. And it is apparent that a lot of pitchers now are going off speed away to Josh.
Yeah, early in the season. It's early in the season. But one thing you would say is they're definitely not giving him a good fastball to hit on the first pitch. They sense that he's going to swing at the first pitch, wants to swing at the first pitch, and smartly they're keeping the ball away from him on the first pitch. Out of the strike zone, as you said, a lot of off-speed pitches.
He led the major leagues in one-pitch at-bats last year. That is putting the ball in play right away. Some guys swear by first pitch swinging. Some guys would have nothing to do with it. To left field. And fading away foul. The research that's been done on that tag, a good 96% of major league hitters hit significantly better when they put the first pitch in play as opposed to a second, third, fifth, or 10th pitch or whatever. Very few exceptions to that rule. Ricky Henderson probably the most notable. Doesn't mean that swinging at the first pitch leads to a huge batting average, but when you put it in play, get that first pitch fastball, and you're able to jump out at it. A lot of guys, again, they just have kind of made that their thing. Driving that one to left center field, and it takes off the bat of Hamilton to the base of the wall. Michael Young races to third. Here he comes. Relay throw on its way. Michael out at home plate.
Well, what an incredible two relay throws right there.
Done in by his former minor league teammate Cesar Izturis.
Boy, the throw from the outfield was perfect. Izturis didn't waste an instant. With his back to the plate, turned and fired a strike to Zahn to cut that run down. Here's the first throw. And here's the second throw. And when you throw the ball from the outfield, you want to throw it to the glove hand so that the fielder can turn and be in throwing position. And that's exactly how Izturis caught that ball, in perfect position to throw it. And then he did the rest. Nice play by Zahn. That really, I thought it was a strike home. That was a short hop. Beautiful play by Zahn.
And he sealed off entryway to home plate, too.
That's as good as it gets for a catcher right there.
Blaylock pops it up. It's Arfate. Look out! He tumbles. He's down. He's got the ball. That's the guy that broke his collarbone last year, remember? That's an easy way to do it again. What a show defensively for the Orioles in this series. After everything last night, they get that Izturis relay, and then Dennis Arfate makes that play. check out tonight's Aflac trivia question. Rangers with 17 home runs already. What's the team record for home runs in a single month? You wouldn't figure April would be the kind of month where the baseball is really flying. You'd think July or August, because heat equals hitting, right? If it's 102 degrees, the ball's going to fly a little more. But on a 70-degree night tonight, we have already seen 3 Ranger home runs and 1 Baltimore home run. It was from this guy, Aubrey Huff. Not this time. Chris Davis to McCarthy for the out. Ty Wigginton comes up next, and we go to Jim Knox.
All right, guess what, Josh and Tom? Autograph Wednesdays are back. That's right. Rush Olson here of the Rangers here to tell us all about that. Okay, Rush.
Well, 5:45 to 6:15 tomorrow might be a good idea to get there a little early. They'll have 3 players signing autographs, 1 coach. It's almost every Wednesday this season, so it's a great chance to get autographs.
Just about every Wednesday they're out on where? On the concourse area?
On the concourse down in the lower level. Get here a little bit early. You get the chance to get more than 1 autograph. Usually there's a lot of guys down there.
Okay, good enough. All right, Rush, appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Jim, can I have your autograph? Can you make it out to my friend Josh?
Josh, okay.
Maybe one for my friend Tom.
Okay, to Josh and Tom from Rush Olson. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Rush.
A little unclear on the concept there. Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Rush. I'd grow a really cool goatee like Rush. I don't know if I could pull that off. I'd be afraid it would be pulled off. Very nice. Very nice. Very Billy Goat like. Looks like he's wearing a comma.
There's a good curveball from Brandon. He's had his curveball up a lot today. In fact, that's what's been hit. The RBI hit by Jones, the home run by Huff. But he's had a good fastball today. His fastball has been consistently 89 to as high as 93 miles an hour.
Well, and you like McCarthy's tempo. You like the fact that so far it's been about 14 pitches per inning. Remember last time it was 21 pitches per inning, and that's why he only went 5.
Yeah, he's thrown a lot of strikes, especially with his fastball. Hasn't walked anybody, struck out a couple. Another high fastball.
Yeah, 93 miles an hour. Just a little check swing from Wigginton.
That's a good sign. I thought he pitched a little inconsistently in his first start, but overall good stuff. He struck out 7 in 5 innings. Had some spells where he lost his command, but overall it was a good outing. Threw up over 100 pitches. There's a good curveball.
And that's the regular curveball that we're used to seeing, right? Not the slurve that he's worked on.
Yeah, you know, I have a hard time differentiating between the two. That was a pretty good tight curveball. Now that might be the improved version. Last year the curveball was a lot bigger than that, but not really like a true slider. There's a good fastball.
Good fastball to Wigginton, and he's a good fastball hitter.
I thought the first start in Detroit was a good step in the right direction, something he could build off of. And today, with the fastball that he's had, I think that's a real positive sign. Very seldom last year, if at all, did we see Brandon consistently throwing the ball between 90 and 92 miles an hour. And that's where he is tonight. So it's been good location, good command of his fastball, and much better velocity, which I think is a great sign as you look forward.
Luke Scott sends one deep to center field. Hamilton gives it a look and salutes it. It is halfway up Greens Hill. The Orioles have tied the game. Well, baseballs are flying tonight. There have been 5 solo home runs in this game already. That one's coming back, just thrown back by the fan that ended up selling out to get it in the first place.
Scott hit 23 home runs last year, so he's got a little bit of power. He got a pretty good fastball out over the plate that time and put a charge in it.
Now, some of the fastballs have been up from B-Mac. 425-foot home run, and now here's Greg Zahn lifting one to left. The Orioles, with 1 in the second, 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth, have tied the Texas Rangers 3-3. the question. 17 home runs already. What's the team record for home runs in a single calendar month? That is a heap of home runs right there. 55 of them in August of '99. A playoff-bound team in 1999. 2 All-Stars that year off that batting order, Rafi and Pudge. And the Rangers were, I guess, were well represented out of the bullpen in that year's All-Star game too. Zimmerman and Wetland. Wetland actually got the save in that All-Star game. But then the playoffs. It just had to be the Yankees again. It's like when Indiana Jones says about the snakes. Why does it always have to be snakes? Why does it always have to be the Yankees for the Rangers in the 90s? Nelson Cruz drove one out in the second inning. One of 3 Ranger home run hitters tonight. High drive center field. Last night and tonight, the Orioles defense has really been the thing that's carried them. And even Dennis Sarfate, the pitcher, got in the act last inning, making that tumbling catch, getting wiped out in foul ground.
Brian Roberts made an incredible play last night against Elvis Andrus, who hit a bullet. One hopper, looked like it was headed to center field. We talked a lot about Markakis' great catch.
Yeah, the Roberts play was stunning. That full-out dive with a backhand.
The play that Greg Zahn made on the throw from his tourist to get Michael Young. He caught the short hop, blocked the plate, and still made the tag. That was a pretty nice play, too.
Used to be the Orioles were all about defense, going back to Brooks Robinson. The Orioles used to always be about pitching and speed, too. It was 1971. They had the 4 different 20-game winners. Dave McNally, Mike Cuellar, Pat Dobson, and Jim Palmer, of course. Jim now one of the Orioles TV broadcasters. I would say the greatest pitcher in Orioles history has to be. 19-year major league career for Jim Palmer, spent entirely in Baltimore. Murphy, again, very patient. This time draws a walk. The only player to have pitched in a World Series in 3 different decades. There he is. Eight 20-win seasons in a span of 9 years back in the 1970s. Chris Davis homered in the second inning. Second straight game Chris Davis is homered in the second inning. Didn't go up or tank tonight like he did last night. It was interesting yesterday, just to finish up on Jim Palmer, watching him stop and have a conversation with Nolan Ryan. And you're thinking, boy, how many big league wins in that conversation? This is the anniversary of Nolan's very first big league win. He got it against Houston. That had to be a nice thing for him, of course, growing up where he grew up. Davis will check and take a strike. Beat Larry Dierker on April the 14th, 1968, did Nolan Ryan. The Rangers have already been caught stealing once tonight. The first time they've been caught stealing this year. That was Kinsler back in the first inning. There are plenty of young players all around baseball making their mark, not just last year, but already early this year, Tom. Evan Longoria, the Rookie of the Year last year, got the early season Triple Crown almost right now. Leads the league in home runs with 5, runs batted in with 12. He is second in the league in batting average.
And he's a Gold Glove caliber third baseman, too. Tremendous defensive player for a young kid.
Tampa Bay trails tonight. The Yankees are up 2-0. That game in the 7th.
A.J. Burnett going out there for the Yankees tonight. He's been really good his first 2 starts.
Time called by Davis. Angels and Mariners still tied up 2-2. That game now in the 9th inning. Right here we're tied 3-3 in the 4th. Another chop ball foul. Kansas City leading Cleveland 2-0 in the 4th inning. The Indians in danger of dropping to 1-7. A little bit better outing tonight for Carl Pavano than the one he had here in Arlington, in that he's still in the game in the 4th inning. He gave up 9 runs in officially 1 inning against the Rangers 5 days ago.
Sarfate is determined that David Murphy will not steal second base. Going to reach his pitch count throwing to first base.
Murphy is going now.
He's right.
Swing and a miss, and Murphy is out. Well, it kept him a little closer to the bag.
He did.
And it served the purpose. Strike him out, throw him out, double play. Zahn has caught 2 Rangers stealing tonight. We're tied 3-3 at the end of 4th. Rangers home again tomorrow night, then over the weekend with Kansas City coming in. Tonight tied with Baltimore at 3-3. The Rangers lost a close one last night, 10-9. Boy, an inning that started so promisingly too. That double by Kinsler. He was the tying man. The Rangers never could get him in. Felix P.A. will take strike 1. Mike Everett, by the way, calling balls and strikes for you tonight. You're going to hear him shout out, that's inside.
A lot of strikes for Brandon. He's got a good pitch count. He's around 53 pitches, 37 strikes, 16 balls. Big improvement command-wise from his last start.
55 pitches for McCarthy now as we play along in the 5th inning. Check swing, and Felix Pierre works that count to 3-2. I think that's only the 2nd full count for McCarthy tonight. Fouled away by Felix Pierre. We haven't talked a lot about the McCarthy changeup. That's still a pitch that the Rangers like quite a bit that he features. Can neutralize lefties, which in Arlington is kind of a big deal. Outside with a fastball. Lead-off walk here in the 5th inning.
Excellent speed, too, with PA on first base. Good chance to see something right here. Bunt, hit and run, steal. Got a guy that can handle the bat like his Turris. PA with good speed.
We'll see if his Turris maybe even tries to bunt one towards his old buddy Michael Young over there at third. Runner goes, and that ball looped into right center field. Josh Hamilton closing on it. Felix Pierre completely oblivious to where that ball was, and he is done.
When you're on first base on a hit and run, you have to look into the hitter to see what happened. I mean, that might have been a straight steal, but with his Turris swinging at it, it appeared to be a hit and run. And even on a straight steal, if you can take a little glance, it helps. You can avoid that double play. That's a nice turn of events for the Rangers right there.
Let's see if he got deeped out there. He's got the head down.
And by the time he looked up, it was too late. And then when he sees Omar phantom throw to first base,
got him.
He just stayed at second.
Fished in by Omar Vizquel. Made it look like there was a double play in the works. And actually there was, as it turned out.
That'll help your pitch count.
Well, keeping in mind that McCarthy has never gotten through 7 innings as a Ranger. You'll take anything you can get to help towards that end. Great sales job by Vizquel.
PA has no idea where the ball is. He finally figured it out.
A little too late.
If you're halfway to second on that hit and run, you're counting on the hitter to put the ball in play. Glance in, see where the ball's hit. You see it go up in the air like that, you can stop and go back to first.
Roberts takes it to right field, dropping down in front of Nelson Cruz. Roberts is a threat to run. Already has 3 steals this year.
He's taken a lot of good swings in this series. In fact, all season long, he came into the game hitting .414. It's higher than that now. He's 2 for 3.
Yep, and 3 for 4 yesterday.
He's a definite threat to go right here.
Kind of a free swinger up there in Adam Jones. Last year, 5 times as many strikeouts as walks, and that's kind of the last hurdle for Adam Jones to clear, as he looks like he's going to be a real good major league player.
The first time up, Brandon fed him a big dose of fastballs and struck him out. Last time, first pitch, he hung him a curveball. He ripped it up the middle for an RBI. First pitch this time, threw a fastball by him.
Adam Jones, after much ado, was dealt last year to the Orioles from Seattle. Part of that deal for Eric Bedard. He was originally a shortstop in Seattle's organization. Once it became apparent that Yuniesky Betancourt would be Seattle's shortstop for the foreseeable future, they shifted him out to the outfield. Everything's exactly even right now. 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors, and 1 man left for both teams.
That's still good velocity for Brandon. That last pitch was 92. You mentioned that he's a free swinger. No balls and 2 strikes. You should be in command of this at bat. and make him chase a pitch out of the strike zone. First time up, he chased a high fastball. I think right here you're either going to throw him a high fastball like about chin high to try to make him swing at it, or a curveball in the dirt to try to make him swing at it.
Roberts not going. There's a fastball up.
A little too high, a little bit too far in to tempt him, but the right idea.
Roberts has been caught stealing a couple times already, but he's the only Oriole with as many as 3 successful steals here in 09.
Well, Sarfate kept Murph close at first base and let Zahn throw him out. Brandon's trying to do the same thing.
Roberts goes, wave and a miss, and it's a moot point.
And there's that high fastball again at 93.
They're liking Brandon McCarthy's efforts so far tonight. But this game is still tied 3-3. The Rangers closed it out with the O's tomorrow night. Then the Royals come in over the weekend. And on Saturday, the first 7,500 kids 13 and under get that cool red Josh Hamilton jersey as compliments of our friends at Dryers. For tickets, go to TexasRangers.com or call 972-RANGERS. Saltalamacchia leads it off. On a night that Alfredo Simon, the Baltimore starter, went only 1 1/3. We never did hear the injury update, if there was one, on Simon. Sarfate's been out there since 1 down in the 2nd inning. He's kept the Baltimore team right in it. Pounded foul by the former Atlanta Brave, Jared Saltalamacchia. Sarfate's pitch count now mid-40s, so they'll go get some action in that Baltimore bullpen. That is Chris Ray.
Ray looked like he was going to be the closer for the Orioles a couple of years ago till he got hurt. Hard thrower. He was their closer, as a matter of fact, till he got hurt.
High to Salty, 2-2. We were talking yesterday about that now famous 30-3 game that the Rangers and Orioles played a couple summers ago. Salty a big part of that, with 7 runs batted in. Ramon Vasquez, the other guy that had the 7 runs batted in, he's now a Pittsburgh Pirate, getting a chance to play for them. Wave and a miss. Salty has struck out twice tonight, and the batter Omar Vizquel.
Good location with the fastball, kind of tied him up and in. Borderline strike, a little bit high. A well located, tough pitch to hit.
The pitch tracker brought to you by Steel. Omar Vizquel, we've talked about his 20 or so years in the big leagues tag, and he's got almost a 1-to-1 ratio of walks to strikeouts. 965 to 980 coming into this year. So among the talents of Omar, that discerning eye up there. On the ground, Brian Roberts cuts it off. Now Kinsler, the top of the order, and again with Ian, it's been all about just sending screaming line drives to left early this season.
Well, the game almost through 5 innings where there's been 5 home runs. You wouldn't expect the score to be 3-3.
No. And some loud outs out there too. Ty Wigginton trots in, killing some time, the third baseman for Baltimore. For whatever reason, Ian has always hit this Orioles team very well. Came into this year 21 for 49 against them. Now they were stalling, trying to get Chris Ray just a couple more pitches. Now here comes Dave Tremblay. 52 pitches from Sarfate, and I guess Tremblay doesn't want to tempt fate. The hard-throwing Chris Ray will be coming on to face Kinsler. Try to keep this thing 3-3. Well, it gives Kinsler some time to regroup. Come back and tell you about Chris Ray in just a moment. Orioles 3, Rangers 3 on Fox Sports Southwest.
Been the year that I was in A-ball, and I went from A-ball to AA to AAA, so I never thought I was going to make it to the big leagues that year.
Andrew Jones is brought to you by Dodge. Well, he made it, and he made a difference for those Atlanta Braves. Baltimore and Texas tied 3-3. The Orioles have gone and made a pitching change tonight where they got only an inning and a third from their starter, Alfredo Simon. But Dennis Arfate was very good in relief, and now here's Chris Ray to face Kinsler.
2006, he had 33 saves and a great ERA for the Orioles. Then the next year, pitched most of the season, then had Tommy John surgery and didn't pitch at all last year. Pitched in the minor leagues a little bit, not very much though.
Roll to Izturis. Planting and gunning it to get Kinsler. Very smooth out there as Izturis.
Had a good pickup by the Orioles. He's a solid little player.
3-3 tie at the end of 5. Both ways, the Orioles have sparkled defensively in this series. They took the opener yesterday 10-9. Brandon McCarthy has kept the Orioles down to 3 runs tonight. 2 solo home runs he's allowed, 1 to Huff, 1 to Luke Scott. He will face a 3-4-5, part of the Baltimore batting order here in the 6th inning. And again, the pitch count extremely manageable for Mr. McCarthy tonight. Was in the mid-60s through 5 innings. He was at 105 through 5 innings his last start.
And even though Brandon has missed a lot of time with the Rangers, I would still say that tonight is probably the best fastball we've seen Brandon have. Definitely with velocity. He's had pretty good command of it too. I think there's been games where he might have had a better assortment and command of his off-speed pitches, but I think the one thing you really want to see from Brandon is what you're seeing tonight. A good fastball, good life on it, good velocity, a pretty good command of it. The rest of it will take care of itself. But it really appears that Brandon is stronger and has more velocity this year, especially tonight, than he did last year.
Markakis gives it a ride. David Murphy turns around on it and bangs into the wall. David Murphy makes the catch.
Wow. Markakis made a great catch last night. That might have been even better. But David went into the wall to make that one.
Take that, Markakis.
That was a beautiful play.
I'm glad David's okay.
Has to kind of come back a little bit and goes right into the wall. Doesn't shy away from the wall at all.
Now, by the way, that new scoreboard is about a foot behind. I mean, it looks like he runs right into the scoreboard, which is really cool.
Wow.
But
that's a great picture.
It sure is. Yeah, that matrix scoreboard out there, it's basically just thousands of red, blue, and green lights in that scoreboard. And it's set back a good foot or so from where a fielder would make contact with that fence. Although, it sure looks cool, though. On TV, it looks like he just bangs right into the scoreboard.
That was a beautiful play. Big play, too. Extra base hit to lead off the 6th inning in a tie game if he doesn't catch it. A good fastball. There's what you're talking about.
Yeah, you can kind of see from that angle. There's, I would say, a good foot between the wall and the scoreboard, but you'd never know that looking at it dead on. Ground ball, Davis stumbles, finds McCarthy, 2 down.
And that was a real good curveball too. Huff hit a curveball for a home run that hung. That one had good bite to it. Got an out with it. It looks like a fake background. Wow, that's terrific.
Looks very futuristic right there. Or like he's standing on the strip at Vegas. Ty Wigginton fires one back to the net. He's got a ground out and a strikeout tonight. Well, the Rangers will have 2, 3, 4 in their order coming up in the bottom of the 6th inning. Again, it's going to be a long night for the Baltimore bullpen. Their starter went an inning and a third. All right, one last look at the Murphy play. Check this out. Wow, that's cool.
That's the best one.
I want to see that again, and we'll freeze it. It looks like he disappears.
He went right into the screen.
And he's like in a Keanu Reeves movie all of a sudden.
That's the best shot of the year right there. Not only a week into it, that's the best shot of the last 2 years. Let's put it that way. Great shot, Steve.
Thank you. Very high pop up. And it's right on top of the dugout. Tell you what, between the home runs and the spectacular defense tonight and fans making great plays on foul balls, there's just kind of a buzz in the ballpark tonight. It's not a huge crowd, but it's kind of an electric feeling right now.
It's been a good game.
Up and in. He walked him. Now I got to be careful to the next guy. The DH Luke Scott hit a home run back in the 4th inning. A former Oklahoma State Cowboy. This is game 2 of a 6-game, 7-day homestand for the Rangers. The Orioles again in town tomorrow night on a $1 hot dog night. A day off on Thursday, and then the Royals provide the opposition over the weekend. Coming in at tonight, the Rangers with 8 runs or more in every home game so far. They've been held to 3 so far tonight. Boy, it's still 93 with the fastball, but it missed.
2 starts you can really build off of. I think the Rangers have to like what they've seen from Brandon in his first 2 starts. Obviously, as with everybody, there's room for improvement. Tonight's a real good step forward with his fastball, and came back with a nice changeup right there. Threw the ball well.
Yeah, the Rangers, again, they've always liked that changeup. When they acquired him from the Chicago White Sox, that was really his calling card, that changeup. We're told right elbow discomfort for Alfredo Simon, the Baltimore starter. That doesn't sound good. Again, trying the fastball. Now the count 2-2 to Scott. Pitch count getting closer to 90 now for McCarthy. Actually, 3-2 the count. That means Wigginton will get going. Outside. Back-to-back 2-out walks. Former Ranger Greg Zahn coming up as the Rangers mull their options. Looks like the bullpen will stir for the first time. Mike Maddox heads on out there. Hey, the Mariners have won that game against the Angels. Won it in the bottom of the 10th. So that's their first place team in the AL West. Seattle at 6-2. The Orioles trying to break this tie. They've pushed a man in a scoring position. And as we check the Ford leaderboard, you talked about it earlier, Tag. One of the reasons the Orioles are off to the quick start, what they're doing with the runners in scoring position.
Here's another opportunity for him. Let's see that average go down a little bit. Brandon was cruising along pretty good when he got Huff on that curveball.
A little early for C.J. Wilson to be up, but he is up.
And then walked Wigginton and Scott behind on Zahn. And a real, as you said, manageable pitch count until those 2 walks. If he can get a quick out right here, he still is in good shape to go back out for the 7th inning. If Ron Washington decides that's what he wants him to do. And there's the best changeup of the night right there.
Does he come back with it, or is that setting him up for something hard?
I think if you throw it in the same location, you come back with that same changeup. Nothing wrong with that. High fastball. Nothing wrong with that. Guess they want to make sure they know exactly what they want to throw right here.
Second straight series the Rangers have had to deal with a former Ranger catcher being up at the plate in a big situation. We saw that with Gerald Laird in Detroit. Two on, 2 out in a 3-3 game. Struck him out. Fastball painted on the corner by McCarthy. Bottom of the 6th when we come back. 3-3 tonight, the Rangers and Baltimore. you by Sonic, and the jackpot worth $600 plus tickets to a Ranger game and dinner for two at Sonic. Rangers hitting for Stanley Holmes of Fort Worth. If a Ranger hits the grand slam this inning, we're giving away $25,000. Michael Young, Josh Hamilton, and Hank Blaylock this inning. Blaylock had a home run last year against Chris Ray. Ray, the third pitcher used by Baltimore tonight. The first one, Alfredo Simon, gave up a home run to Michael Young back in the first inning. Slider had time from Ray. Actually, it was a couple of years ago that Blaylock hit that home run off of Ray. He's coming back from surgery. No, B.J. Ryan came back from Tommy John surgery, saved 32 games last year. The Orioles kind of hoping that Chris Ray returns the same way. So as he comes back, that closer's job is now that of George Sherrill. They've got Ray coming off his surgery. Danny Baez coming off of that same surgery. We got James Hoey coming off of shoulder surgery. A lot of rebuilt Baltimore Orioles. There's that fastball to Young.
Well, looks like he's come all the way back. He's got his velocity, and he's not afraid to throw that hard slider either. Last pitch was 94.
On 3-2. Michael Young offered at it. Good slider. First time that Michael's been retired tonight. Josh Hamilton comes up, but first we go to Jim Knox.
All right, thank you, Josh. Andy Silverman back with us because a big Friday, fantastic Firework Friday begins this Friday, right, Andy?
That's right. Tickets are only $10, regular price up to $25, and parking's only $5. That's both of those 60% off.
So the big fireworks show will be happening after the game?
Absolutely, and it'll be for every Friday fireworks night the rest of the season. It's Fantastic Fireworks Friday, brought to you by your friends at 105.3 The Fan. $10 tickets, $5 parking. It's a great deal.
There we go, and you got plenty of peanuts and popcorn. Here we go, peanut guy. There we go. Good. Yeah, good shot. Oh, sorry, hit the guy in the back of the head. Okay, that's good. It's good to see you, Andy. Thank you. Firework Fridays coming this Friday. We're going to look for that one. Should be a lot exciting. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, again, Friday after the game. A little shoot 'em up there in the nighttime sky. Hamilton, who doubled to left center in the third inning, takes a big rip. Rangers with 3 solo home runs tonight, all early in the game. Michael Young, Nelson Cruz, Chris Davis. Had a great threat in the third inning, but could not score. A great relay play to cut down Michael Young. Hamilton spoils pretty good fastball right there.
I'm sure as the season goes on and Ray continues to build his arm strength, you'll see him later in the ball game. Right now with Sherrill as the closer, that role's not open. But as we mentioned, Ray's been a guy who's saved 33 games one year. I think he would evolve into the setup guy sooner or later this year, and eventually maybe back into the closer role. Good arm he's got, throwing hard. 95 right there.
Tommy John surgery has just become not a big deal. The guys get it, get cleaned up, come back bionic. Hamilton pounds it into right center. Look at all the guys that have just kept on going after that Tommy John surgery. David Wells had a long career after his surgery. Mariano Rivera had it. John Smoltz had it. Kerry Wood, Eric Gagne.
Tommy John.
Tommy John. What are the odds that Tommy John would have Tommy John surgery? When Dr. Frank Jobe in 1974 first performed that surgery on Tommy John, the tendon going from the forearm to the elbow is what we're talking about. Dr. Jobe gave Tommy John a 5% chance of being able to resume his career. Now the success rate for that surgery is about 90-95%.
And from Tommy John's perspective, that 5% was better than 0, because without the surgery it was 0 that he would come back.
That surgery replaces the I guess a stabilizing ligament in the elbow with another tendon from a wrist or an ankle or a hamstring. Blaylock bouncing ball, base hit right field. Hamilton takes a turn and will stop.
He made the right choice. He had to stop because the ball was in front of him. You don't want to get hit by the ball. And Markakis had 17 outfield assists last year. You know he can throw and throw accurately.
Yeah, one of the best arms going out there is Markakis. So you'd like to have that go-ahead runner at third and just one out. You err on the side of caution.
See, he has to hesitate there to let the ball go by, and then really had no chance to get to third. Markakis is just getting ready to unload that throw if he had to.
We'll see if Nelly Cruz can unload now. He's already pounded one out of here tonight. Home run number 4 this year. He was looking for number 5, but he got a good slider. One and one with 2 on 1 out. Cruz has pretty much become the everyday right fielder for the Rangers now. Last year, the position on which, or I guess at which, a team manufactured the most extra base hits, any position, any team, it was Texas Rangers right fielders. And the Rangers didn't really have a regular everyday right fielder last year. It was a little Cruz, a little Bird, a little Bradley, a little Hamilton, a little Murphy. But whoever was out there, that conglomerate
was combination.
Right. I mean, that was better at that position in terms of producing power than any position for any team in baseball.
Wow. A lot of guys had good years, and they must have done a lot of it out in right field. That was a good assortment of off-speed pitches. No fastballs right there.
Bunch of nice-looking sliders, though. It's going to be up to Murphy.
Finished him off with a good changeup.
Pretty nice when the guy's changeup is 85, 86.
Yeah. That's that differential. You want 10 miles an hour at least differential. So if he's throwing 95 and the changeup's 85, you've got it.
Be a good time for.
I was saying the same thing for David's first hit.
Yeah. That just sets up nice. A tough luck 0 for 11 to start his season. Hamilton, great speed. That go-ahead man at second. Fly ball left field. And Felix P.A. has got it. So the Rangers had 2 on 1 out. They couldn't score. We're at the end of 6. Tied 3-3. just how you're covered, it's how you're treated. For more information, visit amicatexas.com. Now, what you missed, guy on a cell phone makes a great catch over there. Been a lot of good defense in this series. And some home runs. Michael Young, Aubrey Huff, Nelson Cruz, step right up. Chris Davis, Luke Scott. Then Brandon McCarthy back to work and keeping this game tied 3-3. Now, oh, and more defense. David Murphy. Love that. As we come back live, a bunch of things to tell you about. You look at that game summary, and got to tell you, C.J. Wilson, the new pitcher, Ryan Friel pinch hitting. Got a lot to do here in the top of the 7th. 5 strikeouts for McCarthy after he had 7 in that first start of the year. BMAC not traditionally known as a high strikeout guy, but he leads the team in strikeouts now with a dozen.
Well, he's got the pitches to be a strikeout guy. You saw his best fastball tonight. His fastball consistently was 91 to 93 miles an hour until the last 2 walks there to Wigginton and Scott. Good command of his fastball. He's got other good pitches to go with it too. Changeup, breaking ball. That was a good solid outing. 2 good starts for Brandon to work on, to build on, things to work on to get even better. But I think early in the season to go out there for 90+ pitches, 100+ pitches, pitch the way he did, you can envision him staying strong, staying healthy, and having a good year.
Ryan Friel takes a called 3rd strike.
That was a good one right on the inside corner.
Well, C.J. Wilson trying to restore and reestablish his confidence after giving up the 6 runs. Only 3 of them earned, though, in that game in Detroit.
And definitely caught the inside corner.
There's your steel pitch tracker. And here is Cesar Izturis. Always a lot of fun watching C.J. Wilson catch up with Jim Palmer in the Orioles series. The story goes, and both men tell it exactly the same way. C.J. Wilson was selling clothes in the menswear department at a Nordstrom's in Southern California. In walks Jim Palmer. C.J. knew exactly who it was, and he knew he was going to get that sale. But not only get that sale, he was going to get
a big one.
He was going to get some pitching tips too. And Jim Palmer remembers, yeah, here's this 19-year-old kid just hounding me for advice on how to pitch. Kinsler, quick release. And Cesar Izturis is out. We go to Jim Knox.
All right, Josh, how about the progressive fan of the game? Here he is, the guy who made that great catch on the foul ball somewhere around the 2nd inning. The Jerry from, where are you from, Fort Worth?
Fort Worth.
Fort Worth, and you were on the phone with who?
I was on the phone with a coworker.
Coworker, what'd you tell him at the time?
I said, hang on a second, and I see a fly ball coming right at us. I reach up and grab it. Everybody around me is cheering, and I get back on the phone, and they're still on the other line.
All right, well, you're here with your family, too, and it's also your daughter goes to Crowley?
Yes, sir. My daughter right here, Kennedy, goes to Crowley, Oakmont Elementary.
All right. What a rowdy crowd. We got the guy making balloons. We got this little leaguer. He's standing up the whole time, and we got Jerry's family on hand, and you are the progressive fan of the game. Congratulations. He has the foul ball right here. All right, and the phone, okay? Phone in one piece. Way to go, guys. Thanks.
And people are making balloons out there, too, Jim?
I'm telling you, it's like the circus out here. This guy right here looks like a big riggerina right over here behind us. He sort of acts like him, too. There he is.
Hey. Jim just looks right at home out there. 1-2 pitch.
Ooh,
just missed to Brian Roberts. 2-2. Roberts has had a big series already with 5 hits. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Oh, that thing nosedive for the dirt right there. That really fooled Roberts.
7th inning stretch, a 3-3 tie. Southwest Airlines, also by Steel and by Whataburger. Some changes for the Orioles as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Most notably, Jamie Walker takes over on the mound. He was brought on to face Chris Davis yesterday. Struck out Davis with a lot of off-speed stuff. Davis had been 3 for 3 in that game before having to face Jamie Walker. Ryan Friel stays in the game, plays left field in place of PA. Here are the early season numbers on the lefty specialist, Jamie Walker. Walker seeing the same pitches he saw a night ago. And Chris Davis is down on strikes again. But he's got a home run tonight. We'll see if Jared Saltalamacchia can load up now. Salty, a switch hitter. A slow start for Salty, 3 out of 20. Jared struggled a bit against lefties a year ago. Did not have a home run against a lefty last year. And he hit just 158 against righties. That is when he could bat left-handed. Things went very well. He hit over 310. Jamie Walker. And there you have it, Tag. There it is. There's Walker, Texas Ranger, left and right. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you. Rangers have only had one Walker in their franchise history. Only one Walker Texas Ranger, Dwayne Walker. Hit 174 for the Rangers in 1985. Wasn't around long enough for that to be nominally funny.
Remember, we got Dwayne Walker from, I believe it was from Cincinnati, along with Jeff Russell for Buddy Bell.
Didn't have a long major league career, 5 years. Native Texan, Dwayne Walker.
Yeah, Dwayne had some promise, and we thought he was going to come over and be a really good player for us. Didn't work out for the Rangers or Dwayne with us. But at the time of the trade, Rangers were pretty excited to get him.
Was Norman Hitzges doing the games then? There had to be some Walker Texas Ranger jokes flying. Vizquel out in front. Well, the Rangers had those 3 solo home runs, 7 batters into the ball game, and led 3-1. But things have really slowed down since then. Little cue shot. Walker takes a pratfall, and Vizquel is all alone, running down the line at first.
It's a little harder for a left-hand pitcher to field that ball because they tend to fall off toward the third baseline a little bit. His follow-through took him that way. He got turned around as he tried to hustle after it and tripped. See that left leg come over toward third base. And Omar says, "Thank you. I'll take a base hit on that."
He just looked like he was running on ice right there. That happened earlier, so.
Boy, it's a good thing he didn't fall on the point of that base. That could easily have happened just then.
Kinsler takes a big cut, and now is hoping this one foul. It is foul. Walker, maybe under normal circumstances, wouldn't still be going here to face Kinsler and Young, 2 righties. And then you've got Josh Hamilton and Hank Blaylock loading up after Kinsler and Young. So it's kind of like now that Walker's made it this far, you figure he's in through Blaylock.
Well, Baez pitched last night. Johnson pitched last night. Bass would be the only other righty out there, so he's probably thinking the lefty's in there for the rest of the inning.
Ian lined deep to left field in the third inning tonight. He singled sharply to left field back in the first. Turns on that one a bit too quickly. Already 5 doubles for Ian this year. Vizquel dancing around off first. And now he's going. Zahn loads it up. Too late. The ball skips away, and there goes Omar for third.
He's got great instincts, boy. A lot of guys wait to see whether they can get to third and wait too long and end up staying there. He just took off when that ball got away and went to third base. It's almost like a delayed steal. He waited a little bit. Ball was down low, took off, and now he's on third base.
He becomes the first 41-year-old Ranger to steal a base. He's going to turn 42 in about a week. Now a wild pitch, and the Rangers take the lead. Kinsler stays alive. Let's take you back to Vizquel here. Making something happen out there. Two balls, 2 strikes. Michael Young on deck. Well, there was almost that wild pitch. It would have given the Rangers the lead. The count moves full.
No balls, 2 strikes. He's worked the count to 3-2.
Ooh, big swing, foul ball. Right down the middle.
Yeah, I think he just pulled off that a little bit, hit it, cued it kind of off the end of the bat, but no doubt what he was going for with that swing.
Pretty good battle going right here. Rangers trying to stop the early season 4-game losing streak. This after starting out 3-0. Now a 9th pitch of this at bat coming up. Kinsler hits it high in the air to center. Adam Jones will grab it, and the Rangers still can't break this tie. A rough rider shirt, he meant to say. Ranger fans, when it comes to tickets, you deserve Major League service. So visit StubHub, official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Rangers. The only site with the Fan Protect guarantee. Go to TexasRangers.com, choose StubHub from the tickets menu. And a little chilly at the ballpark now. The wind's starting to pick up. We're at 65 degrees.
Good fastballs by CJ. A really good inning the last inning. 3 up, 3 down, little ground ball to second, and 2 strikeouts.
Tough part of the order for C.J. Wilson and the Rangers here. 2-3-4 for Baltimore. Jones, Markakis, and Huff. That ball skipping in there and almost hitting Adam Jones.
How'd it miss him?
Boy, right between the wickets. 1-2, Wilson to Jones. Up too high. The Rangers out hitting Baltimore 8-5. Remember last night the Orioles had 11 hits just against Vicente Padilla. That was in 3 1/3. Well, CJ may be overthrowing a bit right now.
He threw 2 nice fastballs to get ahead in the count, down and away. I think they just overthrew those last 2 fastballs.
Do not want to walk this guy. Got great speed. And on appeal, no swing. So CJ has walked him from 0-2 to a walk. Frankie Francisco getting ready out there in the Ranger bullpen. Ideally, you keep the Orioles scoreless here in the top of the 8th, and then it sets up beautifully. You've got 2, 3, 4 in the Ranger order coming up bottom 8 against an overtaxed Baltimore bullpen. You figure if you can grab the lead, you hand it right off to Frankie. But first things first, you got to keep the Orioles here with that total of 3.
Well, Jones is a little bit of a free swinger, but even though the count went to 0-2, CJ was so far out of the strike zone with the next 3 pitches. Nothing was really tempting enough to swing at. He almost hit him with a slider, and the other 2 fastballs were way up and out of the strike zone. They've got a fast runner at first. Leadoff guy on base. That's tough to contend with.
A very patient hitter at the plate here in Markakis, but he swings at the first one. Davis to the bag. He's got it. And a tag. The double play.
The same thing happened when PA got on to lead off the 5th with a walk. Double play. That was the fly ball to Josh when PA was running, and he doubled him up off first. That was a nice play by Chris. He catches a tricky hop, stays with it, tags the base. Now you've got to tag the runner once you touch the base. 1 pitch erases the leadoff walk.
Boy, and what a backward sequence that was. The guy that's a free swinger walks, and the guy that usually takes swings at the first pitch and hits into a double play. So the Rangers will absolutely take it. You know, we've been talking about Hamilton, the number 3 hitter for the Rangers, and how he loves going after that first pitch. Markakis seldom ever does that. He did it right there. The Rangers got 2 outs. A strike to Huff. Huff wearing that number 17 that B.J. Surhoff wore so well for the Orioles for a number of years. Brian Roberts' dad coached B.J. Surhoff in college in North Carolina. The story goes that B.J. Surhoff and his teammates used to babysit for Brian Roberts. Then they got to be teammates. Now another walk. The righty Ty Wigginton will be coming up, and Ron Washington is not going to let CJ face the righty, it wouldn't appear. Walk, double play, walk in this inning. And trying to keep this game tied 3-3. The Rangers turn to the bullpen again. And here comes Frankie Francisco. Back in just a moment on Fox Sports Southwest. Plate, David Murphy on the wall, robbing Nick Markakis, who's been robbing the Rangers in this series himself. But some great camera work here. Check this. Helping to keep this game tied 3-3. A runner on, and Frankie Francisco comes in. And if the Rangers do take a lead in the bottom of the 8th inning, that sets up well. Frankie just turns around, comes back, and saves his own win, so to speak. Would not get credit for both. That's essentially what he'd be doing. Rams in strike one. Former Met and Pirate, Tampa Bay Ray and Astro Ty Wigginton will foul one back. Aubrey Huff, the base runner. Knocked down by Saltalamacchia. And again, the Rangers in the bottom of the 8th with Young, Hamilton, and Blaylock coming up. Francisco with the sign that he wants. Missing down. The Rangers started this year 3-0. Now they've lost 4 straight. Baltimore out to a very nice start here at 5-2. Time called. Ron Washington is coming out. What about? I am not sure. You pick up anything, Tag?
No.
Asking about the count, maybe. Should be 2-2. It's on the scoreboard at 3-2. And that is kind of a big deal. I mean, if Aubrey Huff thinks it's 3-2, he's going to be running with 2 out.
Well, managers will tell their players, don't depend on the scoreboard.
2-2, yells out Mike Everett, yelling it to both benches now, and we're all good now.
He threw him 2 fastballs to get ahead, no balls and 2 strikes, then 2 curveballs in the dirt for a 2-2 count.
Scoreboard still says 3-2, but it is 2-2. Now it's 3-2. And now the runner will be going. He got him. Frankie Francisco struck him out. And the Rangers coming up in the bottom of the 8th with Michael Young, then Hamilton and Blaylock. It's how you're treated. For more information, visit amicatexas.com. 3-3, bottom 8th. The Rangers trying to stop that 4-game losing streak. And a new pitcher to tell you about, that's Jim Johnson. We have already seen Jim Johnson once in this series.
Good arm. He's got a good fastball, good hard sinker. Low to mid-90s. Keeps the ball down pretty well. You mentioned yesterday, Josh, what, didn't give up a home run last year.
All year. Then the first game he pitches in this year, bang. Ooh, that ball ends up hitting the umpire, Mike Everett.
That was an off-speed pitch that bounced off Zahn's glove and then caromed against the elbow.
Ooh, got him right in the arm. Sorry about that, Chief. Mike Everett's done a nice job tonight back there. The umpires call that having the stick. You have home plate, you got the stick. Like you've got the throttle, you're in control, you're driving it. He's got the stick tonight. Michael Young's got a foul ball off to the right. The home run for Michael Young back in the first inning. Drilled it to left field. Also a walk and a strikeout for Mike tonight. Time requested and granted. Mike ever doesn't have to grant the timeout. We saw Alex Rodriguez done in by that at his ballpark last year.
If you ask too late, he'd generally think twice before he gives you time. But Michael asked him plenty of time that time. I guess the only time he wouldn't do it is if he didn't notice that Michael was asking it. But Michael said something and raised his right hand.
Full wind and Johnson brings it. And Michael Young slaps it into right field. Leadoff base hit. They called time. He collected himself. Drills it sharply into right field.
The Rangers have a lot of opportunities in their lineup with left-hand hitters for the opposing manager to bring in a left-handed reliever, but they've already brought in Jamie Walker. George Sherrill is the closer, so there's not a lefty out there to face Hamilton and Blaylock. Both of them will get the hit off the righty right now.
Josh with a single and a double tonight is also fly to right.
Nasty breaking ball. They dropped off the table, so they say.
Boy, again, the first pitch fastball has gone the way of the dodo bird for Josh Hamilton. He's just not seeing him.
Straight overhand 12-6 curveball right there.
On the ground, foul, and Josh behind 0-2. Now, we mentioned yesterday during the broadcast a very quietly outstanding year for Jim Johnson in 08. Kind of a Scott Shields in his prime kind of year. Get out there in the 7th, 8th inning, get a lot of ground balls. You're allowing a slugging percentage of .235, and you're getting into 69 innings. That's a great year.
Pretty good.
Two-strike pitch to Hamilton. He'll check, and on appeal, no swing.
That's the same pitch that he swung at. No balls, no strikes. That's a good overhand curveball. Sharp breaker. Josh holds his bat right there to show the umpire at third base. He did hold up barely. Takes some strength to stop your bat in the middle of the swing like that.
High fly ball to left field this time. Ryan Friel moving and makes the catch. Do you think about running with Michael Young at all?
I think, you know, there's times where you would give Michael the go if you get a good jump sign, if not the straight steal sign. And then it would be up to Michael to gauge whether he had a good lead and could get a good jump on the pitcher. But at the same time, you've got the hole there for the left-hand hitter to shoot at. I don't know that you give him a steal sign, but you might let him go on his own if he felt like he got a great jump.
Zahn's already thrown out 2 tonight. Outfield straight away here for Blaylock. Andrew Jones out of the lineup tonight. The Rangers pretty committed to Hank Blaylock DHing. Great start for Andrew Jones, though. He's 5 for 8 as a Ranger, has 2 doubles and a home run. Crowd of a little more than 14,000 here tonight. They want Jim Johnson to throw the ball here. And Blaylock rolls it to short. Here's Torres to the bag. Double play. Leadoff single looked very promising, but the Rangers turned away by Jim Johnson. On to the 9th. Tied 3-3. Luxury cars that inspire at every turn. By Progressive. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. And by your Texas Ford dealers. Check out the all-new F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. This game's been tied 3-3 since the top of the fourth inning, and the guy that tied it is now about to bat against Frankie Francisco. This is the former Oklahoma State Cowboy. Luke Scott will take down an end. Another former Oklahoma Stater starting to get it done in the big leagues in the American League. That's Josh Fields in Chicago.
Yeah, haven't been many guys get sent back to the minor leagues after hitting 20 or more home runs the year before.
No.
That happened to him last year.
Very high fly ball. Way up there for Kinsler and Davis to fight for. Kinsler's got it. Luke Scott bears a passing resemblance to another former Oklahoma State guy and another former Baltimore Oriole, Jim Traber. Jim was a little huskier.
Yeah.
With that long hair.
He's a broadcaster with Arizona.
He used to be, yeah, and he's
got his talk show still
out of Oklahoma City. Had the pleasure of doing some games with Trabes on Fox. Greg Zahn sends one towards center. He was kind of a brash Baltimore Oriole when he came up.
He's a popular guy, though.
He would sing the national anthem and get out there and get a couple of hits.
Colorful guy.
A couple of quick outs here for Frankie Francisco. The second at bat coming up for Ryan Friel. Ryan Friel, one of those throwback players who plays at breakneck speed, which fans love. But of course, the problem with playing at a breakneck speed is the risk you will break your neck. They loved him in Cincinnati, just diving into walls, kind of Rusty Greer style. Michael Young guarding that line over there at third. Friel takes a big rip. He's down now, 1-2. Young will drop back to regular position now.
Well, Ron Washington originally had said he wanted to use Frankie only for one inning, but after thinking about it, decided he might use him in the 8th inning, and here it is. Coming in for the 8th inning to get a strikeout. Just missed a strikeout right there on the curveball.
Frankie thought he had it. It's only 14 pitches now for Francisco. Last inning and into this one.
Got 2 quick outs. Scott was on. Must have been a little bit outside.
Now one's down. Rangers have had some problems with 2-out walks as this game has gone along. Frankie trying to steer away from that. Got it! And the Rangers can win it walking off when we come back. Nelly Cruz, David Murphy, Chris Davis coming up. got a chance to win it now in the bottom of the ninth. And some guys that can hit the ball a long way coming up. It all begins with Nelly Cruz. And he's already homered tonight. Leads the team with 4 of those. Problem is, long ball wise, guy on the mound has given up 1 home run in the last 2 years. That's Jim Johnson. 0 a year ago in close to 70 innings. He has given up 1 this year. Outfield a step back against Cruz, who's going to bounce it towards Roberts. And up comes David Murphy. Well, the Rangers were just sending extra base hits all over the place through 2 1/3 innings of this game. They had 3 home runs and a double. But since then, just a few singles, and that's it.
Yeah, I think you have to give a lot of credit to Sarfate, who came in a tough situation. Had no idea he'd be in there that early, and he did a nice job. 3 1/3, only gave up 1 hit, shut the Rangers down, didn't score off him. And Ray came in, threw the ball well. Walker, now Johnson, all the Oriole bullpen guys doing a great job tonight.
4 of the first 11 hitters tonight had extra base hits for the Rangers, but now none of the last 20. Murphy curls it towards right field. It hangs up there, though. Well, poor Murphy, still over for 2009. Power hitting Chris Davis comes up. Remember, he began the year 1 for 22. But then got going yesterday with a home run. He's added another home run tonight. That ball disappeared on him. He's down a strike. Well, karma for Chris Davis here. We'll flash you back to the 2nd inning. He parked one. He will take, and he's down 2 strikes. The Orioles bullpen has just dominated. Remember, their starter only went an inning and a third tonight. Out for the first time this year, extra innings, as the Rangers and the Orioles are still tied up 3-3 at the end of 9 in Arlington. Kind of dried up tonight. They haven't had an extra base hit since the 3rd inning. Here's Eddie Guardado trying to make sure the Orioles stay nice and quiet. He'll be facing 9-1-2 in the order. Eddie's been pitching in and out of trouble his 3 games that he's gotten out there for the Rangers. Did a nice job yesterday. The Orioles had a man at third base, and Baltimore never did cash in. The veteran influence to that bullpen, Eddie Guardado. Rangers are all about young pitching and all that, but they still like having Eddie Guardado around. He'll be turning 39 just before the season ends. Became a team favorite and a fan favorite last year. Cesar Torres will take down and outside. That's the strike according to Mike Everett. Torres already with a home run this year. He's not known for power necessarily. He used to be not at all. They've got Torres for his defense. It's amazing that there could have been a shortstop black hole with this Orioles franchise. All those years of Mark Belanger, 15 years, 20 of Cal Ripken, 5 of Mike Bordick. Then last year they didn't know what they were doing at short.
Well, they settled the position down very well with this Torres. He's a good, solid defensive player. And they've got some guys in the lineup that can hit. They're batting him ninth, so anything he does offensively will be a bonus. They want some defense, and he'll give it to him at shortstop.
Won a Gold Glove a few years ago, did Torres. Pops this one foul. Now, the Orioles last year tried Freddie Bynum, Luis Hernandez, Alex Cintron, on and on. And we mentioned this yesterday. The Orioles shortstop position, 28th best fielding percentage among the 30 big league teams. It's Torres not going away easily. We talked about this earlier too. Michael Young and Torres came up together in the Blue Jays organization. The Blue Jays hung on to neither of them. That would have been a pretty cool double play combination to watch. In the air to center. Josh Hamilton fading back. He's got it. Whenever this game is over, Rangers Live will follow us. Look at the smiling faces of Steve Busby and John Radigan. You guys hard at work? You ready for us?
Yeah, we're working, but you know, it's such a perfect night for baseball. Everybody figured, let's just prolong this experience out here. Although it's going to be nice tomorrow too, Buzz.
Yeah, you're going to wrap this up just a little bit tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do our best up here. Yeah. Thanks. Very stylish, both you fellas tonight. Good job. Good job.
Thank you.
Top of the order, Brian Roberts. 3 hits yesterday and 2 tonight. I would dare say Roberts and Torres. It's going to be a fun double play combo for Orioles fans to watch this year. On the ground, foul. Brian Roberts is kind of is that right? Yeah, it's all right. Brian Roberts hits a lot of foul balls. They say last year, the stats mavens tell us 44% of the time he swung last year, he hit a foul ball. That was the highest such percentage in the league.
Well, I tell you, if they've got a stat on that, they've got a stat on everything, don't they?
That's way outside. Yeah, you didn't.
What's the league average?
I want to say somewhere in the maybe 30% range. Todd Helton in the National League, 47% of the time he swung was a foul ball.
I would never have guessed it was that high.
Clearing dugouts. Nothing beats David Hulse against the Angels, so when he kept fouling the ball to the exact same spot over and over. So if you want to catch a foul ball, folks, it's when Brian Roberts is up. See? Luke Appling in the old days used to be the king of the foul balls. They said he once fouled off 24 in one at bat against Red Ruffings, 17 in a row. That would have been fun to watch. And the byproduct of all those foul balls, very simply, you're around longer. Get to work the count here to 3-2. Adam Jones on deck. Roberts puts it in play. Down in front of the left fielder Murphy, and Roberts absolutely a threat to run. That's the thing. You're around for 8, 9, 10 pitches. At some point, you figure you're going to get a pitch you can handle. If you're around for 1 or 2 pitches, those odds decrease.
Orioles have a couple pitchers warming up right now. Bass, the right-hander. If the game stays tied, George Sherrill, the closer, if the Orioles should score. Saw him last night.
Good speed over there at first. Even in the first base coach's box, good speed for Baltimore. That's T-Bone Shelby coaching over there at first. He played in the big leagues for the Orioles and the Dodgers, and briefly for the Tigers. '87 is about the high water mark for Eddie Guardado. You're not going to see a faster fastball than that from Eddie.
No. Adam Jones has swung and missed at a lot of fastballs tonight.
Saltalamacchia at the ready if Brian Roberts is running. High drive left center field. Adam Jones puts a charge into that, and Baltimore's got the lead.
Didn't swing and miss at that one, though.
Roberts with the single, Jones with the homer. And just like that, Baltimore leads here in the 10th. Every run in this game except for one is scored on a home run now. It is a 3 RBI night for young Adam Jones.
He was the centerpiece of that trade from Seattle, the Bedard trade. The kid with outstanding tools. He can run. Very good center fielder. So he's got some pretty good power. He put a charge in that ball. Got his feet wet the big league season with a full big league season last year. He's off to a great start this year, hitting over 370. And he didn't get that ball where he wanted it. And I think he knew the minute Jones made contact.
Now Markakis
is not going to be good.
Yeah, Markakis now sends one to right. The Rangers will get action in the bullpen behind Eddie. Mike Maddox out to the mound. Now both Izturis and Roberts really battled Eddie Guardado, some deep pitch counts. But then Jones and Markakis were able to do their work early. Warner Madrigal getting ready. Boy, again, a game where you look back at what could have been, and you know what stands out, Tag? It is that bang-bang relay back in the 3rd inning. The Rangers had a chance to grab a run right there.
Yeah, and who knows what would have happened after that. You know, you still got men on base. The inning's still going. That was a beautiful relay play and a nice play by Zahn at the plate to pick that ball in the dirt, block the plate, and make the tag.
Yeah, all 3 fielders involved in that excelled on that play. Jones for going and getting it that quickly. is Torres for making the unbelievable quick turn to get it to home plate, and then Zahn for sealing off home plate and making that terrific scoop and tag. Huff is out of the way, and now Ty Wigginton coming up. You figured the Rangers would have more chances after that in the third inning. They had a mild threat in the sixth. They had a runner at third, 2 out in the seventh, but the big time threats never really did materialize again. The Rangers in the bottom of the 10th will have 8-9-1 in the order due up. So if the Rangers can scrape together a couple of base runners, Josh Hamilton would bat in the bottom of the 10th inning. Three balls, no strikes. And the man of the moment, Adam Jones. 23 years old, getting it done against a 38-year-old Guardado. Take you back to that play in the third inning. Again, looking now like a key play. There's that scoop by Jones, a quick throw. Great footwork by his Torres. And you called it, Tag. Zahn did everything he needed to at the plate.
Yeah, it's not an easy play because you're as the catcher, you have to be aware of the runner. You want to try to block the plate and make the tag, but then he had to go out and catch the ball on a short hop with a catcher's mitt, which is not that easy.
Now 3-2, and the runner at first will get moving. Been a 26-pitch inning for Guardado. The game tomorrow is at 7:05, the finale of the series. Chris Benson, one-time Baltimore Oriole, facing his former team. The Rangers will be facing off against the former NBA player, Mark Hendrickson. Up too high. If Washington stays with Guardado, it's a lefty-lefty matchup here against Luke Scott. If you go to the bullpen, you're bringing in a righty, Madrigal, to face the lefty. Seattle has already won today. That was the Mariners' home opener. Ken Griffey's return. The Mariners won it in the bottom of the 10th, and Seattle's a first-place team in the West right now. Oakland's playing Boston tonight, and the A's already leading 5-3 after 1.
Yeah, they've knocked Matsuzaka out of the game early.
That's a fastball and a good one on 2-0. Minnesota with a walk-off win in the 11th. Beat Toronto tonight 3-2. Kansas City is hammering Cleveland 9-3. A pair of home runs for John Buck. Strike, 2-2. With 2 on, 2 out, 2 in the top of the 10th. And a 32-pitch inning for Guardado. Fly ball left center. Josh Hamilton, long run. Won't get it. Baltimore adds to the lead. 1 run is in. 2 runs in. this after the first out was achieved. He got his Torres to fly to center, but then single and a homer, single and a fly out, walk, and a double. It's a 3 RBI night for Scott. It's a 3 RBI night for Adam Jones. And a very damaging top of the 10th. Warner Madrigal coming in. 7-3 Baltimore. We're coming back after this. Scoreless tonight, but Baltimore breaking through with a 4-run top of the 10th. They're still having at it. Warner Madrigal comes in. There's a runner at second. Luke Scott having just doubled to left center. That brought home 2 with 2 out. And Eddie Guardado on the hook for the loss here. Madrigal begins outside. Brandon McCarthy started for the Rangers tonight and was pretty strong. 6 innings, struck out 5. He did give up a couple of solo home runs, but he left with a tie score, 3-3. And boy, I tell you what, the Orioles on a night where they got exactly an inning and a third from their starting pitcher, they're going to end up getting, well, for now anyway, it's 7 2/3 scoreless innings of relief.
Bullpen for the Orioles has been very impressive. Every guy has come in and thrown the ball well. And going back to Brandon McCarthy, it was a good start for him too. It's 2 good starts to start the season to build on. A little bit inconsistent with his control in the first start, but still good stuff. Struck out 7 in 5 innings today. Had a good fastball, most of them 91 to 93. Ended up walking a couple of guys at the end, but for the most part he had good command with his fastball. And if you look at those 2 starts, feel good about him as you try to build for the rest of the season.
Boy, the good time vibes from the first few games of the home season now seem to have fizzled. Rangers roared out of the gate 3-0 this year. Put 29 runs on the board in those 3 games against the Indians, but they got tripped up in Detroit. Lost yesterday 10-9 here to Baltimore. And this one's looking tough right now. 7-3 in the 10th inning.
Yeah,
around it. Big outfield. Ball finds a hole.
So now we're back to danger ground. A potential tying run is at the plate. First and second, nobody out. Young, his home run in the first inning, his second of the year. Couple of hits, 3 at bats, and a walk. 0 for 4 against Sherrill. And the fastball in there for a strike.
George doesn't really throw a changeup. Most conventional. We saw Guardado attempt to do it. Again, he struggled, had an off night. But it's either the curveball or it's pretty much a fastball. Looks like they're going to try to come in on Mike Young. There's your curveball.
Almost caught him.
Yep.
1 ball, 1 strike count on Young.
Well, you got to get in this game, actually, you got to get 30 outs. In a normal 9-inning game, 27, and Texas is just going to hit till the Orioles get that 28th, 29th, and 30th out. It's just the way the game is played on the road.
And outside to him, 2-1. George Sherrill's the one who's got to find a way to get it done here in this ball game in the 10th. The Orioles with 4 runs in the top half of the 10th inning, but 1 already in for Texas in the bottom half. 2 ball, 1 strike delivery. That one's lashed. That's going to be a base hit. Friel will knock it down and hold the runner at third. Bases are loaded as Young just drove that one to left.
Well, Gary, you've been around the game a long time, and when you look at lineups and you're a veteran pitcher like George Sherrill, you say, I got to get this guy out. Well, that guy was Sultan Lamakia, and the next guy was Vizquel at 41. And then you get into guys that maybe are better hitters than you are as a pitcher. And that's when you get into trouble. And that's what happens when you get to Kinsler and when you get to Young. Now, all of a sudden, as Rick Kranitz comes out, I don't know if you ever really like this matchup with Josh Hamilton, but the one thing that George Sherrill did well last year and again this year, and it's early in the season, get lefters out. But you are now 1 swing away from winning this game because they put on some awfully good at bats, and Sherrill hasn't made a whole lot of good pitches here in the 10th inning.
There are outs you do have to get, and as Jim said, they were the 8 and 9 guys on the order who both got on in the inning. Still nobody out, bases loaded. Hamilton down the line at third. That is a fair ball. There's 1 and not at first. And another run will score as Vizquel will cross the plate. That ball was a cue shot. An RBI for Hamilton. It is a 7-5 ball game. No chance to get the double play. Ty Wigginton stepped on the bag to get Kinsler at third base.
Well, we told you about Hamilton swinging at a lot of first pitches. He just swings at a curveball and hits it off the end of the bat. I tell you, I told Ty Wigginton, I don't know if you're Brooks Robinson yet. He said, well, we don't want to go that far, but he's handled third base pretty well. And again, Hamilton runs too well to double him up.
Now runners on at first and second base. Only 1 out. And another cue foul by Blaylock, who was aiming one.
Yeah, do you think he was looking for a curveball?
Gee.
You have that option. Boy, he aired it out, and that was a good hook. He was thinking 3-run home run, and they can just kind of celebrate the walk-off home run.
Blaylock's got a single in the ball game. 1 for 4. Hit .277 off lefties last year. 6 home runs. And outside from Sherrill. What a battle for George Sherrill. Try and put this ball game away. And it's all his. There's nothing going on in the bullpen. 7-5. Orioles up by 2. They started the inning up by 4. 1-1. Launches it right field. Markakis thinks he's got room at the wall, and he does. Tagging up and moving over will be Young to third base, but there are 2 down. Blaylock almost.
What about a 16th of an inch between a home run and a fly ball off the end of the bat? First pitch, curveball, and he aired it out. Take a look at Cruz early on. It looked like it was going to be home run derby. They hit 3 in the first 3 innings. Cruz was one of them.
So the Orioles 1 out away from having a W here. Cruz, that home run, his lone hit in the ball game and in the series, 1 for 4 in this ball game, 1 for 7 in the series. He's not faced Sherrill.
Well, out over the plate, fastball hitter. And where do they go? Inside. The one thing about George Sherrill, he hadn't really gotten a lot of hitters counts. They have earned their way on, but he hadn't walked anybody.
The 2 RBI double in that 10th inning by Scott. The difference in the ball game. 2 RBIs on the homer by Adam Jones in the top half of this 10th as well.
And if Cruz gets on by some way, you're going to see probably Marlon Byrd come on to hit for David Murphy, who's waiting on deck.
7th batter, the bat in the bottom of the 10th is Cruz, who's at the plate. And Cruz takes it down the line in right field, fouls it off. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Cruz last year against lefties had only 31 at bats. 1 home run. He hit .419, 13 for 31. The runner at third base is Young, and over at first is Hamilton. Hamilton at first is the potential tying run in the ball game.
Yeah, he's the guy you really be concerned with that. And of course, Nelson Cruz, the winning run at the plate.
Breaking ball misses inside, 2-1.
So here you go. If you're George Sherrill, fastball, young hitter at the plate. Am I going to throw him a curveball? I don't have a changeup.
Runners off first and third. Sherrill ready. Cruz takes it way up high, and the count goes to 3-1.
Well, actually, you know, I was thinking of Marlon Byrd, but Andrew Jones has come out.
He's had the hot bat.
Yeah, he really has. He's on deck in case Sherrill doesn't get Cruz out.
3-1 count with 2 down. Delivered to Cruz. Tried to drive one. The count is full. 3-2. Well, I think Mr. Excitement has lived up to his billing so far.
Well, yeah, he preparing for many nights over the course of the baseball season. Mr. Excitement.
A battle. 2 runs in, bottom of the 10th, but there are 2 down. 3-2 count. The delivery on the way. Breaking ball down to third and foul. Cruz almost coming out of his cleats here, trying to drive one.
Now that was a good curveball. And sometimes, especially down and in, it's hard to keep it fair, and then you saw why. And Dave Tremblay. Well, we talked about Don Stanhouse after the game last night. He stopped by to say hello. Full pack. Earl Weaver would go through a whole pack of cigarettes in an inning.
Swung on, towering fly ball, center field. Jones going back, has room, and this game is over, and the Orioles win it. Right down to the bitter end. George Sherrill keeps it exciting. Here in the 10th inning, 2 runs in on 4 hits, and 2 are left on base. This ball game ended with 2 fly balls that looked like they were going to leave.
Well,
the
off
yard.
the bat.